Hey, Dale. Yay. My comments are working. Hope everybody's doing good. It's a pretty cold Thursday night here. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Sonia. How are ya? Welcome, everybody. Hey, Roxanne. Snowy, Ohio. I was going to say that we had some snow falling from the sky also tonight. Yeah, it seems to be a problem with sharing. Um, we're going to have to try to figure that out. It's something new that's happening. Snow in Michigan, too. I'll be darned. Welcome spring. And it's April Fool's Day, but it didn't fool us, did it? I don't think spring is ever going to get here. Well, that's just an extra few days that I get to spend where I don't have to work outside. So tonight we're working with the Butterfly Brilliance. It's such a pretty stamp set and matching dies. And I don't even have the set in here. I actually have it in my Stamparatus. I would suggest if you do have this stamp set or you are thinking about getting it, I would cut them apart. It's a little difficult stamping and getting a really good die cut. Hey Margaret, how are you? So I would suggest cutting them apart. And then also the die, if I can find it, it's in here. I just stuck everything in here quick tonight. See, the die also is in one piece. And I found that trying to die cut and get really good cuts is a little difficult. And I didn't cut it apart yet because I didn't want to ruin it before I had to do tonight's cards. I'm doing good, honey. I'm glad you're doing good, Margaret. So I will be cutting them apart because it'll make it so much easier. So before we get started, I just wanted to mention the mystery card event. It is on Saturday at 2 o'clock. My card's all ready to go. Everything is cut and ready to go. And I will, before anybody sees it, I will create it online. So it'll be a surprise to everyone. I will be giving away some prizes for anyone who shows up. And if you share the card you make during the class, you'll be in a drawing for another prize. So I think it's going to be a fun time. The only other thing I could say, and it's probably down in my mailbox, but the new catalog for all us demonstrators is out. I was able to place a pre-order today, which was really exciting. So some really beautiful things coming out in the new catalog. So I'm going to make this card first, and then I will do the drawing for everyone who joined my newsletter and joined my YouTube. I have all the names right here, and I will pick those right after we do this card. Lots of layers. I use the Subtles embossing folder, which you can see a little bit. The light's a little, and that is retiring, so if it's something you want in your stash and you don't have it, get it while it's still around. And then I use the Ornate Garden 3D embossing folder for behind the butterflies. The light is so glary. I embossed my butterflies in silver and watercolored them. I am going to put an additional butterfly on tonight's card because I just feel like it is a bit too empty. It's just not enough. And then when you open up tonight's card, you can see the butterflies pop out just like that. And I noticed my camera goes a little wonky. I should have taken it off autofocus. So let's get started with this card. Pull out all my things. I did pre-stamp the butterflies. Like I said, I found that stamp to be just a little bit difficult. So I would suggest if you don't cut them, using your Stamparatus. So we have the basic card base, 5.5 by 8.5. And we're just going to pull out the scoreboard and we're going to score it at 4.25. I don't know if anybody saw, but the other day when I pulled out my scoreboard, I had noticed a piece of tape up here at the top that I had never taken off. And I took it off and discovered that when you open this up, there are little clips in the top of the scoreboard. And if I can get this little bag open, which is awesome, that are, you can stick them in these top little holes to mark your 4.25. Or you can move it and mark your 5.5, depending on where you want to put these little things. It's just a marker, so you don't have to look closely at your ruler across the top. So I was pretty excited. I figured I was the only one who knew it was there, but it made me happy. Okay, so it's scored at 4.25. Then I'm going to use, this is Pool Party, by the way. So now I'm going to use another layer of Pool Party, which is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Hey, Debbie, how are ya? And we are going to attach this to the front of the card. Now, if you order $25 before midnight on Monday, I will send you a swag bag in the mail. Margaret, I know you're here. Your mail should be on its way. Okay, then we have a layer of the basic white, like I said, which was embossed with the Subtles embossing folder. And this is 5.25 by 4. And we are going to glue this onto the front so the snail does not smash the embossing. And we're just going to make sure we get the edges, because now that this is embossed, the paper is just a little bit thinner because everything's smashed together. And when you add this to the front of your card, you really can tell when the edges are not glued down. So we're just going to make sure this is down. And there is the front. That looks good. And then we're taking another Pool Party, which is 3 by 4.25. And this beautiful embossed basic white. I love this embossing folder. And again, it is retiring with the catalog. So if it's still available and you want it, you better order it soon, because I know things disappear pretty quickly. And I'm going to, like you saw, I'm going to use the liquid glue to attach it so we don't smash the beautiful embossing. I, Ruth, I was so excited, and I'm going to tell you what happened. I was watching a YouTube video, and it was a stamping up demonstrator I was watching. And on her scoreboard, she had those little clips. And I was like, wow, I wonder where you can get those. Hey, Peggy, how are you? And when I made that discovery, I was just so excited. I'm going to have to figure out, though, I think I'm going to use a glue dot to attach them because I know I'm going to end up losing them. It'll find a way to fall off. Okay, so as you saw, I'm going to pop this up onto the front. Make sure it's even. I'm just going to lift it up a second. And that looks good. I was just looking. I can tell. Hopefully it'll dry down. If not, we'll do our little trick and get that. Because it's funny. You just see every little bit that's not sticking. Thanks, Peggy. Okay, so there is the layers on the front of the card. And we're just going to grab some butterflies here. Like I said, I did stamp and emboss the butterflies. And just match these up. I wanted to use this one, and I think I'm going to use a smaller one. And as you can see, this one didn't really cut too bad. But when I cut another batch, can you see how, got a piece of cat hair, how close it cut here? So I think you would waste a lot of stamped images without cutting everything apart. Okay, so we're going to grab some Pool Party and we're going to do some watercoloring with the Stampin' Up! Water brush. So we're just going to squish this down a little so we can get some ink on the top. And we'll do the big butterfly first. You can see I did add in a little bit of Blushing Bride, but I'll do that last. So this is really quick and easy. Let's see if I can pull this camera down a little bit. And I know the light is reflecting, but we're just going to do a quick wash of color. Nothing special. You can go right over the embossing. Add a little bit of water to that. And you don't have to have, even color. It can be blotchy or darker in some areas and lighter in others. I'm leaving that one little space. Let me just get some more onto the front of this. So we're just going to color this all in. I didn't even do his body. I'm leaving his body the white. So I'll let that dry. And we're going to continue. I did all the butterflies in the Pool Party. We're going to leave that little spot there. And like I said, when it comes to painting with the ink, you don't have to have uniform color. Now see, I went over, so let's go over it. I was going to leave that and just do it pink, so it'll be a little purplish when I get done. And then we'll do this one completely. I'm glad, it was funny, we watched this newscaster on YouTube, and they were talking about a blizzard for our area for weeks. And then they changed it, thank goodness, so we only got a few little snow showers. Hopefully I won't wake up to a snowstorm tomorrow. Okay, so I just pulled out the Blushing Bride. Just going to wipe off the tip of this a little bit. Add some water. Look, cat hair. Only problem with having Iggy in here with me. And we're just going to fill in this little area of the butterfly. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. Just add a little different color, just a splash of color. This one we're going to leave. We can close this up. And then just take a paper towel and go over it so the embossing dries. So we're just going to add these butterflies. Now, what I did was gave them a little bit of a curl, and I just could feel it's still a little wet. And then right at his body, give it a quick little, hey Kathy, how are you? Just give it a quick little fold, and we're actually going to glue these right onto the front. You can use glue dots if you like. I just love glue. So we're just going to get him right there. Then we're going to take the larger one and we're going to do the same thing. Just give the wings a quick little fold. Just like that. Add some glue. And I'm going to change it up a little. Like I said, I wanted to add an extra butterfly. So we're going to add this one right here. And then the little one, taking his wings again, giving it a little fold around his body. We're going to put him right here in the center. And I think that looks a little better than this one. All right, let's grab some rhinestones. And we're going to actually just put 3. Going to grab a large one. And where this is embossed, I'm just going to find an area that is not embossed to stick them down. If I can get them off the sheet. Some are sticking really good. And we'll put one here. And we'll put one right down here. So that is the front of the card. We're just going to let these dry. You have to be careful and let them dry and use enough glue because the embossing, it's not really going to catch that much of that embossed layer. So we're going to put that aside for a second and we're going to grab the inside. Now for the inside of the card, I'm just going to open this one up for you. The inside layer of Pool Party is actually 4.5 by 7.5. And then the basic white is 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. Just going to make sure that I cut it properly, and I did. Okay, so I'm going to pull the scoreboard out again. I guess the scoreboard knows it's my friend now, huh? And we're just going to score this in half. So 3.5 should be right about here. Make sure I did it right. Yes, I did. Okay, so we scored it in half, and I'm just going to give that a good fold. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Debbie. Oh, very good, Ruth. That was good. I know Facebook is acting wonky, so they've been making so many changes. All right, so now what we're going to do is, let me just get a piece of scrap paper, and I'm just going to give myself a little base. Now, the way I did the inside is taking a ruler. Let me just make sure how far I went down. I thought I went down 2 inches. Nope, about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to do it on the back side. And I'm just going to, let's see if I can grab a pencil. And we're going to mark it at 1.5. And then we are going to mark the center line. Let me just check. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, it's like 2 3/4. So we're going to go 1.5 inches out from the center line. And then we're just going to connect these. Okay, we're going to put this back under just so I have a little padding. And grab my stylus. We're going to connect our 2 marks. Now remember that this is a little wider, and we're just going to add a score line. Then we're going to turn it, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. And just run a score line. Just help us fold it a little better, because now this section, you're going to fold it so it comes out. We want it to give it a nice crisp fold line. Just like that. But this section here, we want it to fold there we go, fold inward towards the card, okay? So you have your little corner, and we just want a little bit of fold, so when the card opens, these little butterflies move. I don't know if anybody's seen those new butterflies that when you open the card, they explode out. I've been working on trying to get them to work. They're tough. I wanted to do it for tonight's card, but it didn't work. Okay, so now we have the inside. I folded, and I got it off. It's off just a little. Score the center sheet in half. And this piece is going to fit right inside here. Let me just see. It's just off by a smidge. Okay. So, where this glue gives us a few minutes, I'm going to add my glue, and enough that it will be workable, and open this up, and you want to make sure your edges are even, but you also want to make sure that it is right to the crease on the inside. Close it up. Make sure it is even. Right here, it's just a little bit off. Okay, and then we're going to do the same for the other side. Want to make sure it's even. Okay. Okay, so that's the inside. So then this way, when you open it, we'll have this little area for the butterflies. Okay, so while that's drying, this set comes with the detailed dies, which are really pretty. And then I also cut out them solid, that big sheet of dies. You can cut them out solid also. And we're just going to attach these and give them little white paper wings. So you're just going to dot around the little butterfly. Now, if I was fancy, I should have cut it out with a adhesive sheet, and the adhesive would have been already added. Now, the detailed die is just a little bit smaller, so you're going to have the vellum, I should say, is going to be a little bit bigger. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. Like I said, it would have been easier to attach some adhesive sheets to the paper and then die cut the delicate little butterfly. It would have been much easier to attach it and make sure you have a good fit. Okay, so there are our butterflies. Now I just want to take a look to see. I put the bigger one up top, only so when you close it, it folds into the card. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue, and we're going to attach it right here. And it folds right into the card. And then the other butterfly, I just centered right underneath, just like that. Okay, so we're going to give that a second to dry. Now I do have, see, here's another one. This one even, when I cut it, cut a little crooked. So I'm going to use this for the inside of the card. And I'm just going to get my water again. I'm just going to... Oh, did you, Ruth? Did you make them yourself or did you buy them? Because they are just so much fun. And I really do want to, I have to buy some wire. I tried using paper clips and they were just a little bit too strong, I think, to do what I wanted to do with them. But I've seen commercials for them. I know there's a company out there who is now making them, but they're so big. I wanted to like use the butterflies from this set and do it. So, okay, I closed this up. We're just going to grab it again, and on the inside, I put Beautiful Inside and Out, and I'm using the block that I have with my lines on it. So now that the inside of the card is glued in, I want to be able to get this on here straight. And hopefully I will. Sorry about my head. Hopefully I did that right, and I did. And then we're just going to take the butterfly add some glue, and I'm off the camera. And we're just going to glue this right in the corner. Do they? Hi, Karen. Yeah, see, that's the problem that I was having, Ruth. They want you to, when you make them, there's 4 wings, but I was thinking about using, say, the bottom, a butterfly, you know, a nice sized butterfly like this, cutting it in half and using these 2 wings for the bottom, and then the top piece that spins using smaller butterflies so it would spin. I'm going to figure it out. Come heck of high water, I am going to figure it out. Okay, so now the inside of the card is done. I am going to add some glue, and I'm going to add it on both sides. And we want to make sure we get it to the edge. Make sure that you have it face the right way. I did that yesterday, and I had to pull my card apart and do it all over. And we're just going to make sure it is even on the inside. And it looks like it is. I'm just going to make sure it is good in the crease. Just like that. Make sure it is glued down really well. And then just puff up their little wings. And there you go. I think it does look much better with 3 butterflies. And then you have your butterflies inside. Oh, the horse chores. Perfectly fine, Karen. I hope your weather is okay. Yeah, I think so, Ruth. I'm going to give it a try. Thanks, Debbie, I'm sorry. I'm going to give it a try because I just think they are wonderful. So here's our first card. I hope you like it. And they are heavy, so this would definitely add extra postage. So let's grab our bucket. Now this is for, and I didn't even pull it out. I should have pulled it out. But this is for the beautiful autumn. Thanks, Peggy. The beautiful autumn stamp set, punches, paper, and little trinkets. Thank you everyone who joined all my different groups. And the winner is Sheila Wallace. Congratulations, Sheila. Thank you, Ruth. Me too. If you would PM me your address, I will get that in the mail to you. Okay, so card number 2 is, again, our butterflies with the ornate garden ribbon, subtle embossing folder, and the butterflies. Now for this one, it is a lock. So when you open up the card, the butterfly stays on the inside. So when you want to mail it, you just hold the butterfly together and then close up the card. Whoops, don't want to crush his pretty little wings. There we go. So now it is closed. Okay. Now this card uses the classic label punch. This is also retiring. So if you want to get a hold of that, you better do so before it disappears. I love that punch. I use it a lot. Okay, so we have an 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4.25. As always, ladies, the PDF for this will be in the group probably by 12. Not sure what the day is going to bring, so I'll say 12 o'clock. And again, we're using Pool Party. And the light, for some reason, is horrible. Let me try this one. That's even worse. Okay. Okay, so we have Pool Party, 5 3/8, 4 1/8, basic white, run through the cut and emboss machine, again with the subtles embossing folder. And this is 5 1/4 by 4. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue these 2 layers together. Just like this. And again, we're using glue so we don't crush the embossing. And we're just going to give this, thanks Ruth. We're just going to let this dry for a second. And then we have a layer of Designer Series paper in Pool Party. And this will be available in the new catalog. And this is 4 by 2. And this is going to go right here on the front of the card. But before we attach this, we're going to take our punch and we're going to, actually let's do it this way. we're going to just angle this as close as you can to seeing the edges. And we're just going to punch a piece out. Now we're going to take this and attach it to the front of our card. Now you have to remember not to put it too far from the edge, because where the punch is going to be on an angle, you're going to be hindered by the size of the punch. So you want to just bring it down towards the edge of the card, and you're going to want to make sure that everything's even. And I will glue it first. But now if you check, see how easy it is? So you only want a very small little section right here at the end of the card. So let's glue this down. And again, we're going to make sure we get those edges. And then we also want to add just a little bit of glue around that punched hole, because we really want that to stick down well. And we're just going to lay this on the card and let that dry for a second. Oh, you can. It's just, we have to go through so many layers, so I just wanted to, I didn't want to have to go through 3 layers. So if I did 1 layer already, now all I have to do is go through the basic white and the pearl, pool party. Because you'll notice after a while your punch doesn't punch as well as it did when it was new, if you use it a lot. So now we want to make sure, see, look, that's what I see what I did. We want to make sure that this is lined up really well and give it a good punch. And that's a pretty clean punch. Like I said, you just don't want to go through too many layers, because you'll notice now, right on the edge here, it is a little frayed. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just trim this down just a little bit. I want to do it carefully. But that's what happens. Now when your punches get a little, when they're not as sharp, if you use some foil, cut some foil, that sharpens them up a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to have to put this on the front of the card. And I'm just going to add some glue around the edges again. And we're going to add this to the front of the card, making sure it's even. Just like that. And then we're going to cut it out one more time. And again, you want to make sure you get right at that area as best you can and give it a good punch. Okay, and again, see, it's a little bit frayed, so I'm going to have to get out the foil. Just give it a little trim. Okay. So now that we have that on the front, we're just going to open it up. We have our pool party in our basic white, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, 5 1/4 by 4. Okay. Now for this one, I said so grateful we're friends, and we're going to stamp this first. And again, we're going to hope we get this stamped on straight. Boy, the light is horrible in here tonight. I don't know what the heck is wrong. Let's see if that one helps. It's just, it seems so dark in here tonight, and I have lights on. Okay, so we're going to stamp this right here in the corner. And the So Grateful We're Friends is from, and the other one also, is from the Band Together stamp set. The Beautiful Inside and Out and So Grateful We're Friends. This stamp is also retiring. I did keep it out because my next Patreon coloring class is going to be coloring this flower. So I'm teaching how to color flowers this month. Okay, so we got done with our, almost got done with our girls. We just have to finish up her headband and her shoes. So we're just going to layer these two together. And again, make sure it goes on there straight, not crooked like it just was. I don't even, oh, here they are. Yeah, so here's our girls. This month they got hair. And then I did the hair on this one. So before we start our flowers, we're going to do the flowers, headbands, her belt, and her shoes. We did get her headband done. So they're coming along. I'm not sure if they carry over or not. I hope so, so I can get a card made with them before the new catalog. Okay, so we're going to add this to the center of the card. Now we want to do this because we want to attach our butterfly. And we want to make sure our inside is done. Okay, so we got that down. We can close up our card. Okay, close up this one. And I die cut one of the detailed butterflies. And what we're going to do for this one is we're going to attach it with glue dots. So we're going to turn it over. Just going to grab my pokey tool. And we're going to add glue dots to the back. Now we can get 2 on without any trouble. The third one, whoops, when you take it off, just fold it in half and put it towards the bottom, because the bottom of the butterfly's body gets thinner as it goes down. So we're just going to fold up his wings a little bit, and we're going to connect him just about in the center. Make sure he's attached really good. I actually gave him a little rhinestone head. And then we're going to add, oops, a few more. I think I'll add an extra one tonight, just like that. And then I have a smaller little one. This one I didn't curl the wings. I just very easily gave them a little curl because I was afraid I was going to rip the wing off. And this time we're going to use some glue. Make sure he's attached. Just like that. And then we're going to make a bow. Just as a reminder, Saturday is the card making event at 2 o'clock. It's not in this group. It'll actually be on the business page where I'll go live right in the event. So it won't be public. It'll be on the event page. So if you would like to participate, the measurements and the cardstock and everything you need and the dimensions are in the room. I'm not going to show you the card until after I create it. And if you decide to create with me, you have you'll win a prize. You'll win something just for showing up. And I think we'll have a good time. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so there we go. Again, very carefully, it locks the front. And then when you want to mail it, just hold the wings together, just like that. And there you go. So here are tonight's cards. I hope you like them. Again, order $25 before midnight on Monday, and you'll get a 15-pack of 6x6 paper, some mulberry flowers, ribbon, a stamp spot, foam tape, tear and tape, and a craft envelope. Craft eraser, gosh, an envelope. So use this host code when you order. And hopefully, thanks, Deb. And again, congratulations, Sheila. Make sure you PM me your address so I can get your package in the mail too. I hope I see everybody on Saturday. Have a great night, and if it's snowing, be careful out there. Thanks, Deborah. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.